your sexuality is definitely a little more on the fluid than most.
No. You definitely, like, where it said homosexual and heterosexual, you read them backwards or something, and you clicked the wrong things. Hello, listeners, and welcome back to Raw and Unsolicited with me, Andrew.
And me, Ryan.
So on today's episode...
Why do your intros get stupider and stupider?
They're not stupider and stupider. Relax. On today's episode, we are going to talk about sexualities, different types of sexualities, and how we quote unquote label ourselves or not label ourselves, I guess. Mm-hmm. Does that kind of make sense?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
And what is this quiz we're going to do?
So we are going to take the Kinsey Scale quiz. Have you heard of the Kinsey Scale?
I have not.
Well, the Kinsey Scale, hold on, let me give you an actual kind of definition of the Kinsey Scale for those of you that don't know. The Kinsey Scale, which actually dates back to like the 50s, like it's 1953. I don't know, something like that. So Alfred Kinsey, was a like scientist, researcher. I don't fucking know.
Was he gay?
He was the creator of the Kinsey Scale, and he is known as the father of sexual revelation. The Kinsey Scale was created in order to demonstrate that sexuality does not fit into two strict categories, homosexuality and heterosexuality. Instead, Kinsey believed that sexuality was fluid and subject to change over time. So just because you might consider yourself one way or feel one way doesn't mean that it doesn't change over time.
Like I said, I'm going to be straight by the end of this podcast.
Doubt that. But the Kinsey Scale, which is also called the heterosexual homosexual rating scale, is used in research to describe a person's sexual orientation based on one's experience or response at a given time. Remember that this can change throughout time, throughout experiences and stuff like that. The scale typically ranges from 0, meaning that they are exclusively heterosexual, to 6, meaning they are exclusively homosexual. In both the male and female volumes of the Kinsey reports, an additional grade listed as an X indicated no sociosexual contacts or reactions. So essentially they were asexual.
That's what you're going to be.
Oh, yeah. The reports were first published in actually 1948 is what it says here. And it was published in Sexual Behavior in the Human Male by Alfred Kinsey, Wardell Pomeroy, and others, and were also prominent in the complementary work Sexual Behavior in the Human Female, which took place in 1953.
This is boring. I don't care.
So, I guess for you, let's say, like, where do you feel like you were to land?
I'm a
like,
6.
So totally homosexual.
Raging homosexual.
Really?
I mean, no, like, I think women are pretty still, and, like, I would make out with them and maybe dabble in a clam or two here and there at some point, but I'm mostly going to be a raging homo.
Okay. Well, we've talked before about, like, not, like, so, like, just how we're talking about sexuality being fluid in this episode, we've talked before about gender being fluid before. So when it comes to like a trans person, whether female to male or male to female, somebody who was non-binary, something like that, would that change your number at all?
What do you mean? Like how? Like, am I attracted to them?
Yeah. Like, so you're saying like you're totally only attracted to a cis male, theoretically, is what you just said as a cis.
I guess that's what I said, but I guess I really don't fully believe in that because I do think a lot of other people are still beautiful.
Okay. So maybe a 5?
That's what I said. Maybe a 5. Like, there's no way I'm going to be close to the bottom of this. Like, what does this scale look like? Is it like that thing for like lawyers?
No.
Is that what they, I'm not about?
The scale of justice?
Yeah, that.
No.
Is it just like gay and like it just pulls all the way down to the one side?
It's just 0 to 6. So you either fall at 0, you fall at 6, or you fall somewhere in between.
I would like to say I'm a 5 then.
Okay.
I'm going to sit at a 5. You're going to be a 2.
A 2? So
you're going to be like more
heterosexual?
Straight. Yes. You sound like a queer, but you're going to be real straight.
I would say I'm probably
right in the middle.
I would say somewhere between 3 and 4. I would say that I definitely fall more homosexual. I think that when if somebody asks me in public, like, oh, like whatever, like it's just easy for me to just say like, oh, I'm gay. Like bisexuality.
Are people just like, hey, what's your name? Are you gay? Like,
yeah, people say that all the time.
Strangers are just asking you what you're.
Yeah, I meet people at work and they're like, oh, what's your sexuality?
And I'm like, faggot. Look at my necklace.
No, nobody asks me that. I'm kidding. But if somebody were to ask me, like, I think an easy answer would just be like, yeah, I'm gay. Like, whatever. Like, but
I'm always like, what do you think? And some people still, which baffles me.
So wait, people do ask you?
Sometimes, yeah.
So why was it just a big deal that somebody asked me?
Because you were saying like strangers just like walking up to you on the street.
So
like,
who are these people that are asking you that?
I don't know.
Your close friends that know? I don't understand.
Some of them don't know, so now they know. Guys, I'm gay. But no, like I always, like I think with like new hires, when I'm hiring people and stuff, that's like where most of the time it comes up because I'm always trying to figure out what they are at the same time.
Oh my God.
But like I was saying,
for you,
it doesn't matter at all. If you're a great person, you're a great person. I don't care. But people still are like, I would never knew you were gay. I'm like, clearly you haven't talked to me. Or like there's like you could literally talk to me and know that there's penises in my mouth. So I don't know what.
Yeah, you mumble everything. It's like there's a penis in your mouth at any given time.
I wish. I was talking to one of my staff the other day, and I told him, like, I just wish I could have a penis in my mouth all the time, like, because I'm always talking about sucking dick for some god-awful reason. And he's like, well, that would just be like a lolly. Like, you could just hire someone, they would just be like a lollipop. They would just always be there ready for me to just... So that just sits in my head now, makes me laugh. But yeah.
That's weird.
Definitely a 5.
I mean, I consider myself to be pansexual in general. Like, that's what I really consider myself. I do find myself attracted to any sex or non-binary, anywhere in between. So that's where I would consider myself. But we can absolutely take the quiz, which is honestly, it's like a really stupid fucking quiz. It's like a BuzzFeed quiz, but it's cute.
So are we doing that now? Are we going to do it and share the results?
So we'll do it and share the results, I guess. Or we can do it and then like come back to it. And we'll tell our results like later in the episode. We're
going to do it while we're recording. Like, how am I going to read and do this at the same time?
What are you reading?
The quiz. I'm sure there's questions.
Well, we'll figure it out. But so I think that let's talk about different types of sexuality.
Okay.
So what are some different types of sexuality that you already know?
Oh, God. I'm ignorant to so many things. You know this. This is why you're asking me.
Correct.
You just baited me. I know there's isn't there like an androsexual or an androsexual?
Yes, you asked me about that the other day.
There's pansexual, homosexual, heterosexual. Obviously, all the clear ones.
Well, do you know what LGBTQIA plus stands for?
Yes.
Okay, so let's start there.
Two-spirit. You forgot about two-spirit.
Well, let's start with the LG.
Bitch.
Go ahead.
Lesbian and gay. What? Like this?
No, all of them. Go.
Let me write it down. I had to see them.
Why?
Because my mind can't work that way. What is it?
LGBTQIA plus.
Actually, I don't know what I is. I don't.
We'll go in order.
Lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans, queer.
Intersex.
Oh, I did know that. Damn it. And asexual?
Yes.
And then everything else.
Essentially, yeah.
Well, when I worked for another company that was all inclusive, they had two-spirit and another one also.
So Q is also questioning.
Questioning?
It can be either, I guess.
Can it, or is it questioning? Is it not queer?
It's queer. Most commonly it's queer, but like when you look it up, it says questioning as well. So it could be either. Which I mean,
think everybody is always questioning their sexuality. Well, even right now, I'm still questioning my sexuality.
That's the point of this Kinsey scale.
I want to say that
everybody is on a scale.
You know what? From now on, people ask, I'm going to say I'm queer because I don't know.
So are you
I'm
queer?
questioning.
Or are you questioning?
I'm questioning. I meant to, I saw the Q and said queer again. I'm just going to say I'm questioning.
Okay.
I'm going to be a 3. The more we dive into this, I'm going to be a lower number than I really think I'm going to be.
So let's talk about the Kinsey scale for a second, and we talk about other people. So not specifically other people, but when you think about people in general, do you feel like people fall on some sort of a scale? Or do you feel like people are like,
I feel like I feel like we're forced to choose a side with, for lack of better terms.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone, I really truly think, is like just floating around, living their best lives or trying to.
I mean, I really truthfully agree with this. I feel like there's a big scale for this. I feel like, and I know that the initial Kinsey scale is like 0 to 6, but I feel like you can like extend that more, like to just say like, oh, I'm a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, or 6. Like I feel like is even. Like you could be like a 1.2, a 1.8. You know what I mean? Like I feel like
still in between 1 through 6.
Well, yeah. I mean, you can be between anything. You can say 0 and 1, and they're still in between.
That's like people that are just still in the closet. The ones that deny it the most want to try it the most, and they're the ones that are claiming to be a 1, but they're a 6.
But yeah, I mean, I think that everybody has something. I mean, do you know anybody like that you can think of that is like super one way or another, and like there's like 0 movement there?
I want to say yes, I do, but I don't really associate people that are so like.
But do you think that you're thinking they are, or you're thinking that they think they are?
They think they are, and I know they're not.
Okay, so you think that everybody falls somewhere on a scale?
Yeah, everyone is some sort of fruity.
Okay.
What do you think?
I mean, I agree.
You agree?
I think that everybody's somewhere on a scale. I mean, most of the people that I know, like people that I'm friends with and have had discussions with and grew up with and stuff like that, like so many people have experimented, have, tried things, have made out with people, have like had like thoughts or fantasies. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I even know people that are like super gay, like super homosexual, but have had like sex dreams about the opposite sex. You know what I mean? Like, I think that is.
I mean, I know gay guys that still love making out with women too. So like,
right, and most gay men love boobs.
Yeah,
like love them. So let's talk about types of sexuality then. So we talked about the LGBTQIA. Pansexual. Androsexual. What else do you know? Well, so let's talk about that. So what is pansexual?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean you don't know?
Do I know?
You just know the word. You don't know what it means.
That's the one where. No, I'm not going to say that I do. And I'm sure you've told me because you're one of them.
So pansexuals refer to people who feel attraction towards people of all genders and sexes. So it doesn't matter what the gender identity or the sex is. So pansexual is also known as omnisexual. So those are kind of interchangeable words. So a typical identifier for people with this orientation is that gender is not a factor in sexual or romantic attraction. While there is overlap between these two terms and bisexuality and polysexuality, some people may prefer to use one term over another. So the big difference between pansexual and bisexual is that bisexual pretty much indicates that there's only two sexes, that there's male and female, hence the bi too. Where pansexual or omnisexual understand the gender fluidness of the world. Does that make sense?
Sure does.
You seem very bored.
This episode is boring. This is very boring. No offense to people, but like, I don't know enough to be like into this.
So what is androsexual? Since I told you,
I don't remember. I don't remember. I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember.
Androsexual are people.
Because can't I just be me? Why do I have to like have a label?
I mean, that is also a true statement.
That's why I don't. No offense to the people that identify as any of this. I just don't care to be labeled myself, so I don't care to know other people's. But if you tell me yours, I want to understand it. And I want to talk to you, and I want to approach you the right way. But sadly, I don't care.
But you do, because you label yourself. Like you do.
Do I?
Yeah.
What am I?
You're a raging homosexual. That's what you said at the beginning of this episode. I get that, but like, you say all the time.
I get that, but like, why do we have to like talk about it? And like, why do I have to let you know that I'm this? Like,
I don't know. I mean, I think we've talked about this on an episode before. Like,
you don't have to tell me you're straight. Like, why do I have to tell you I'm anything else?
I think it's for better understanding. I think it's for people to understand both themselves as well as other people. Like, when you can identify as one way or another, it's helpful. I agree.
For who?
For yourself. For other people.
Why? Let me just identify. Maybe I wanted to walk out of this recording and then go blow a woman.
You don't blow women.
I'm going to suck on that clit so hard. But like, why do I, like, who cares? Why do I tell anybody anything or explain anything to anybody?
You don't. But
you just said I have to understand myself better. I understand myself as I'm going to have fun doing what I want to do.
And you're like, but you understand that.
Okay.
But some people have to find some way to identify in order to help themselves understand themselves. Like, think about like, okay, so one of the things that we talk about as a society right now is how do we teach children and show children and have the ability for them to see other things that maybe they were never exposed to in the past, so that it will help them understand and be comfortable in themselves. So think about, 20, 30 years ago when there was no representation of, or very little or terrible representation of the LGBTQ community, whether it be in TV, movies, public settings, whatever the case may be. As children trying to understand themselves and identify themselves, it's like, I don't know what I am. I'm scared. I don't know what this feeling is because I'm not exposed to it. So by now having this exposure and having these identities and having this different moving pieces, it helps to be like, okay, I'm not alone. When there's a word associated to something, you're like, okay, so it's normal. Does that make sense?
I get what you're saying, but then I feel like when we talk about it too much, everyone thinks we have this gay agenda.
But it's not. It's not an agenda. It's like,
I know this, but I feel like that's how all these like bigots are out here thinking when we're just trying to get them to understand us, or the people that feel misunderstood. They're just like, this is what I'm trying to help you understand. And they think that we're just pushing it on them.
Right. And and to that, I say people are fucking stupid and ignorant.
They are.
Because when you think about those people that are bigots and that don't understand things and that, feel like there's an agenda out there, or feel like, why do we have to do this? Or, the snowflake, or the this or the that, or the whatever the case may be, I guarantee you 90% of them are identifying themselves as something, right?
Yeah.
They're like, no, I'm straight. I'm straight. I'm a blah, 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 whatever. They're identifying themselves as maybe a political type, maybe a religious type, maybe a whatever, but they are labeling themselves and they are giving themselves an identity as well. Right?
Bigot.
So, I mean, they're not giving themselves that identity. They're not calling themselves a bigot.
Well, they're calling me a faggot, so I can call them a bigot.
Well, anyway, but does that make sense? Like, you're going to sit here and say, why do we have to have these labels? Why do we have to do that? Like, this is stupid. Where does this come from? But you're sitting there labeling yourself anyway. And I'm not saying you. I'm saying, like, the person. is having.
I didn't feel attacked because I'm very confident and comfortable in who I am.
Whatever you said.
Right?
So let's talk about other sexualities then. And there is fucking a million of them. So we have allosexual. Typically feels sexual attraction towards other
Plants.
people.
Like this is how I'm going to be very like fun and playful just so I can stay engaged in this conversation, because no offense to anybody identifying other way, but this is boring.
There's androsexual, which we just talked about, which was,
to me, I imagine that's people that are all attracted to you.
I mean, yeah,
you probably have your own race sex out there.
They feel attraction towards men, males, and perceived masculinity.
See, maybe I'm that. I don't know. I don't care. Like, I just want to be me.
Mm-hmm. Aromantic.
You love candles. Like, I'm not even trying to be an asshole. I'm just trying to make this fun. Like, that's literally it.
A person who identifies as aromantic may not.
They smell good.
May not feel any romantic. Oh, aromantic? Aromantic, maybe. That's how you say it. I don't know.
I can't see the word, but.
May not feel any romantic attraction towards anyone. They may not want a relationship beyond a friendship.
Oh, that sounds lonely, though.
But they have friendship. They just don't want a romantic relationship.
Okay. I mean, it just sounds lonely. That's all.
Asexual is an umbrella term that encompasses a broad spectrum of sexual orientations. Some people may experience no sexual or romantic attraction towards anyone, while others may experience varying degrees of sexual or romantic attraction towards people. Those who identify with this orientation do not have to abstain from sex to be asexual. Interesting.
This is a very educational episode, but I feel like this is not what people are listening for.
I felt like asexual was like you don't have sex or you only have sex with yourself, because I feel like asexual was a scientific term with like certain animals that like have sex with themselves or reproduce without a partner kind of thing.
Is there one that is there? Well, we'll get to it. There probably is one that just only loves themselves.
Maybe.
That's what you're going to be.
Autoromantic. Those who are autoromantic experience a romantic attraction towards themselves.
There you go. See, look, we got right to it. I was going to say you like cars and robots, but
for auto.
Yeah.
This does not mean that they do not experience romantic attraction towards others as well.
It does not mean. Right. So that's also kind of like these are all very loose, I feel like, as we keep diving in.
Autosexual.
I feel like these descriptions are like trying not to box us in too much, which I appreciate. Like all these are like a little fluid too.
Right.
Again, educational. It is a little boring.
So autoromantic is the romantic attraction towards themselves. Autosexual is the sexual attraction towards themselves.
Like that guy in Psycho when he used to like watch himself in the mirror while he fucked women.
I mean, I do that.
You watch yourself in the mirror while you fuck people?
Yeah.
You're a weirdo.
Absolutely. It's the same thing as videotaping and then watching it afterward.
Is the mirror on your ceiling? Where's your mirror at?
No.
Is it on the floor in the corner?
It's not in my room.
Oh, well, what?
I can do it in a bathroom. Oh. I can do it other places.
So you're like mid-thrust, you look over and you like wink at yourself?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's so fucking weird.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, I'm judging, but I don't really judge.
There's bicurious. We know what that is. Demisexual. A person who identifies as demisexual typically only feels attraction towards a person with whom they are already established a strong emotional bond.
That's you. You're also that.
I am demisexual for sure. There's gay.
You're auto demi.
I mean,
can I be more than one?
Yes, absolutely. You know, I also consider myself mostly androsexual as well. Like, I am more attracted towards that masculine energy.
Well, you said that even female to male and all that.
Correct.
Yeah, you said that in the beginning.
But like, my thing with that is like, I want somebody who, for the most part, not 100%, but I want somebody who's more masculine energy. You know what I mean? Like, you know, maybe a deep voice, maybe burly, maybe scruffy, like, you know, stuff that's more masculine.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I always tell people. Like, I'm labeling myself. I'm gay because I'm into men and I want to be with a man. So does that make me androsexual too? That like I like the masked, right?
Yeah. I mean, would you ever date a feminine guy?
And I don't, probably not.
What if it was a femtop?
I don't care about that. No, because like I just want like big, burly, beefy things near me at all times. So like probably not.
I've talked to people before where like it turns them off if the guy has any sort of feminine traits. So if they paint their fingernails.
But as a gay guy, we all have some sort of feminine trait.
I mean, I think regardless of whether you're a gay or not, wherever you fall on this scale, I think we all have feminine energy, masculine energy. I feel like there's a mix of it with everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, we know that you like a bearded, tatted guy. We know that you like more of that masculine energy. But how would you feel about like somebody with like a high pitched or a feminine voice?
I'm good.
Meaning?
No, thank you. Mine's high enough. I don't need both of us to be screaming and screeching at each other.
What about somebody who wears nail polish?
I don't care for it, but I want you to do it. Like if that's how you are, cool, good for you.
So if you're on the dating profile,
I would date you, though.
If you're on the dating profile and you see somebody who's like really fucking sexy, but you see that their fingernails are painted.
They could have came from a Halloween party. Like I don't cut you out initially like that, but I'm going to find a way to find out if you do it that often. Cause like, I want you to paint my nails.
What if a guy wears makeup?
No, I want you to be like rough looking. I like rough looking men.
Okay.
I want like a guy who's like weathered with wrinkles and like.
What if they
not wrinkles, but you know what I'm saying? Like
carry a bag. Old.
I carry a bag. I don't care. I don't care about a lot of
But you are feminine.
I know I am.
So that's not what I'm asking. We're talking about what you like. So you don't say, well, I do that.
I don't want them to have.
Do you paint your nails sometimes?
I don't think I do. Yes, I do. I paint my thumb very often for like good luck. And
right. So you do things. So we're not asking what you do. I'm asking you what you find attractive in other people.
Okay. Not that.
Would you date a guy that was wearing a pearl necklace?
Yeah. Why are you asking all things that I'm doing right this second?
Your fingernails aren't painted.
My toenails are from Disney stuff. They're like really fine glitter.
Oh my God. I don't know. Like what else is like a feminine type thing?
I want people to know I'm gay so they don't have to ask. You know, I want to avoid that question. Let me just blow you.
Got it.
Do you want me to ask any of these back to you?
Sure.
Do you like guys with gay voices? That was the wrong term because more feminine voices. I'm going to try to be like politically correct on this episode for once.
Well, we're way past that already.
I know. I'm just trying to backtrack now.
We are way past that already.
But like, I don't want to always sound ignorant. I know that I am, but I don't always want to sound it. You know what I'm saying?
And educate yourself. What do you
that's what I'm trying to do here, but it's very boring. This is a very boring episode. But I'm trying. I'm always trying to educate myself. So do you like a man who paints his fingernails?
I don't care. Painted fingernails mean nothing to me. If you have like long acrylic nails, that's a little bit different. That could break
off in your butt. Well, like if they're fingering you and their acrylic falls off, you're dead.
So first off, it's very rare that a man's fingering me regardless. And second off, they're even if they're definitely not fucking, if they have something fake on their finger, they're definitely not putting it in my asshole.
Okay. Makeup.
It depends. I mean, I think like, you know, like a blemish hider here and there.
Concealer.
Like, I don't fucking know what it's called. I don't wear it.
Concealer, bitch.
But like,
I don't wear it either, but I know what it is.
Something that like is like if you have a fucking full face of makeup, I'm sorry, not for me. Not something I like.
Yeah.
But if it's like,
if you spend too much time on your hair, even that, I'm like, no.
Yeah. Well, remember that guy that
my one date, yeah, he told me the best part of his day is when he flat ironed his hair. And plus, I also left because he made me split the bill.
I thought you didn't even get to the bill.
Yeah. We went for dinner and we went for drinks.
Okay.
I don't remember which way it was or when I left or why I left right after he said the best part of his day was when he flat ironed his hair. And I said, I had to run to my car. And I never came back.
Got it. You're a terrible person.
Listen, I am who I am. How about, do you like a man with a squeaky voice? Did you answer this already? You did. We went to the next one.
So I prefer a man with like a deeper voice. But it's not like an end all be all for me.
Like I was on a date the other day and his voice was like a little higher pitched than I liked, but like
But isn't mine?
He was more handsome enough that I was like, I can tolerate this, and he had cool ears. You know, I love ears. He had like really weird ears. But the thing I did hate is that his name was also Ryan. And he was even more obnoxious than I am.
Didn't we talk about before whether or not you would date somebody named Ryan, and you said absolutely not?
Well, he had dude.
Oh my God.
It's because of his ears. I only met him for a drink. We decided that we're just going to be friends because it was not a good date. But his ears were incredible. He had such fun ears. I was like, I have to at least hang out with him once. So we grabbed drinks, and then at the end, we were both like, let's just, like, it was weird. We were like in sync almost, being like, well, this is not going to work. But he was like super obnoxious. And I was like, is this what I'm like to people? And I'm sorry if I'm that obnoxious to people, because no. No, thank you. What else do you want to ask me about? Or you want me to ask you about? What about if he carries a purse?
Like a purse? Like a purse? Like a real purse?
Yeah, not like a crossbody, like that's in right now. A purse. I feel like you would enjoy a guy with a bag because he can hold all your stuff.
I mean, I would enjoy that.
I know.
I like that, but I don't know. I feel like for me, like I said, I consider myself pansexual, but I feel like if I'm going to date a man, like I want somebody who is masculine, who is manly.
I've said that my entire life.
Like if I'm going to date a woman, I want somebody who is very feminine. Like the women that I find attractive are very feminine women. Like they're not like masculine energy women. You know what I mean? Regardless, though, whether it's a man or a woman,
fat ass.
Well, of course, duh. But no, I want them to be like dominant. Like I want them to be.
Do you?
Yes. Like I am a submissive top.
Interesting.
Like I am like I'm a top, obviously, like whatever. But like I'd rather somebody else kind of take control. Like I like that.
Interesting.
So regardless of whether you're male, female, non-binary, trans, anywhere on this spectrum, I like somebody who's a little bit more dominant.
Because you're lazy?
Because I'm lazy. That is correct.
Like I'm not being funny. I was just saying, is that literally why?
I mean, no. Yes. No. I don't know. Like, I feel like the way that I've always been is like, I like things a certain way. I don't like to make decisions, though. So, like, when I'm in a relationship with someone, as I'm sure you can attest to, I want my partner to make the everyday decisions that I can be like, no, like I can veto, like I have veto power too. But like, if you know me well enough, you'll make good decisions based off of what I like.
But why can't that person just make a decision and you just actually roll with it once in a while?
I do.
Do you?
Yes. I would say I do for the most part. Like if it's like a hard no, if it's like a hard, like absolutely not, then I will say that.
You're like, meet me in the dining room. We have to have a veto meeting.
What is this fucking like?
Big Brother. You just come down to the dining room with a box with a necklace. You're like, no, I'm going to use my veto power. Do you watch Big Brother?
I do not.
That's good. I'm going to be honest, dude.
Mm-hmm. I'm rooting for you.
Thanks. What else did I ask you? Do you like guys that cross-dress? Not cross-dress, but like wear women. See, I'm so ignorant. I'm like stuck in the 70s.
Remember this political correctness that we just talked about?
Remember the ignorance that I admit to all the time? Like, it is what it is. I'm sorry if you're offended. Then just listen to a different podcast.
So I find that extremely sexy in the bedroom.
Interesting.
Like I think we've talked about this before. Like,
then you bang a guy in a skirt or something?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Like I find that super fucking attractive. But if it's like every day kind of thing, nah.
That's so interesting. That it's more of a sexual thing than Is it because no one else can see it, so you're like not as embarrassed by it?
Probably. It's probably my internalized homophobia a little bit.
Got it.
I will say that when it comes to any relationship that I have, as terrible as this sounds, I care about other people's opinions.
I feel like everybody does, and if they say otherwise, they're lying. Which is partially why you and I are out here like, oh, I can't have a guy who's gay of a voice, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think a lot of the time, sadly, we're more worried about what other people are going to think. So obviously, when your next relationship happens, you're going to, but you can't date someone that's uglier because your friends are going to be like, oh, what happened? You know what I'm saying? But sometimes we just make decisions that are not good for us.
I mean, I'm not necessarily, I don't know.
You are shallow.
I am. I totally am. Have you seen, kind of topic, kind of off topic. Have you seen the movie Bros?
Yes, I love that movie. That movie was so good.
I
laughed so much at that movie.
I saw it for the first time like 2 days ago. Like I literally just saw it.
And
I thought it was terrible.
Did you?
Yes.
I laughed at so many of the dumbass jokes.
I did laugh a couple times, but I felt like they were trying to do every fucking gay scenario jammed into a movie. Like I felt like it was like way too like they tried too hard. Like I thought that it was cute, and I felt like a lot of it was very relatable and realistic. But like they tried way too far.
I want to watch it again now because I saw it like when it first came out.
Like when they did like the whole like foursome, when they did the whole like, oh, you like poppers, like it was so forced. Like I felt like it was so forced in a lot of
Was it
places.
forced, or were you just so acknowledged that you've done all these things that you were embarrassed?
No, I was not embarrassed at all.
Did you feel represented?
So it's
or
funny.
Did you feel made fun of?
So no, I don't think
there's gays that have felt made fun of, like when they watched it. And I was like, really?
So.
They're just trying to represent you.
First off, whatever the main guy's name is.
Not Billy, the other one.
Not Billy, the other one is fucking sexy.
He is such a beautiful man.
I love him.
He's from, what else is he from? He's from
Brothers and Sisters.
What is that? Oh, he was the gay one's husband.
Yeah. You watched Brothers and Sisters. Yeah.
That's why I just said, oh, he was the gay
You
one's
said,
husband.
what is that?
Well, I couldn't remember because it's like that was like 10 years ago.
That was a long time ago, yeah. He is gay in real life. He's married with a kid.
Is he gay? Do we know that he says he's gay?
Yeah. He's married to a man with a child.
Doesn't mean he's gay. He could be.
Oh, he falls somewhere on the scale.
You know what I'm saying?
He falls somewhere on the scale, of course.
You know
Everyone falls on the scale, but
we got to stay in line, bro. Gotta stay in line, bro.
But he has like a skier boyfriend, like a
skier?
like a professional skier, I think. Professional athlete of some sort.
There you go. Let's say athlete. Olympic medalist.
Sexy. So Billy Eichner, who I love. I've always loved Billy Eichner.
He was in that one show that you watched I used to hate with that girl.
Oh,
remember?
Yes, that's such a good show.
I like it now. I've watched it now.
Oh, what the fuck was the name of that?
Horrible People? No.
Yeah, I think it was something like that.
I love it now. Like before, I was just like, ugh.
Yeah,
but
it was such like
it.
dry humor, but it was so good. But so he's literally like, I don't know. We're probably like 20 minutes into the movie, just getting to get to know him, and like everything he's saying is so fucking relatable, like so much. And I'm like, he's a fucking Virgo. So I look it up, and he's a fucking Virgo. He was day
written,
after me.
He was written.
It's him. He wrote the fucking thing. It's his movie.
Think he was writing the words he wanted to say.
It was him. Yeah.
Okay.
Like for sure.
All right.
But I'm like, he's a fucking Virgo, and like just knowing him from other things, and like his Billy on the Street,
I was just gonna say
and like everything. Like I'm like, he's so like I relate to him so much, and I looked it up, and I'm like, yep. Totally makes sense. Totally fucking makes sense. But no, I mean, I think that there were some pieces on it, you know, and I think where I was linking this kind of to is like there's the one part where I don't remember his name in the movie, but like the other guy is introducing Billy's character to his parents, and he's like telling him to like tone it down, like try not to be yourself, like tone it down.
I've been told that before.
And I think that that's kind of where like what we're kind of talking about here is like, I think that there's that little bit of like caring what other people think too much that we are so concerned and worried about.
Yeah, but when I'm single, I literally am just me. I feel like I'm just me when I'm in a relationship too. So why do I have to change anything?
What do you mean?
Like, you know what you're getting into when you meet me, and you know what you're going to get into when I'm around people. So, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, like, at the end of the day, like, if you're in a relationship, you need to accept the person that you're in a relationship for who they are, for sure. But I also think that if you're, like, you need to be on your best behavior, like, when you're meeting new people
I know
and
these
stuff
things.
like that.
I'm not, like, going to family dinner being like, oh, I'm going to suck that dick. At my parents' dinner, maybe, because my parents are incredible, but I'm not meeting people's family. Remember when I met your parents at the pool for the first time out back? I was like, potato. I don't think I said 3 words.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, we like
Didn't
walked
matter.
around the house and this creepy little blue pool was in the like, remember?
No, not at all.
Anyway. I don't remember when I met my ex's family the first time.
I don't know.
Christmas Eve? Christmas? I don't remember.
Whatever. Well, let's tell people where we fall on the Kinsey scale.
Also, by the way, it's hard to take a quiz and listen and speak all at the same time. So mine's probably going to be wrong.
So mine says equal parts homosexual and heterosexual. At times you found yourself down to different types of people. Sorry. At times you've found yourself drawn to different types of people. Gay, straight, male, female, and whatever else. Your sexuality is about as fluid as it gets, and it's probably remained so as long as you're having sexual impulses. What's yours?
Mine's mostly heterosexual.
What? Clearly you answered something wrong. Clearly you did it
says you're mostly straight, but you're open to new ideas and experiences. Maybe you've had a passing through or fantasy, and maybe you've actually thought about pursuing some impulses. Your sexuality is definitely a little more on the fluid than most.
No. You definitely, like, where it said homosexual and heterosexual, you read them backwards or something, and you clicked the wrong things.
I didn't. I actually read through these.
Okay.
I mean, I could take it again, but guys, I'm straight. I do it at the end of this podcast. I didn't think it was going to be this episode, God. But I knew I was going to be straight soon. It says I'm not exclusively, or what's the word? I'm not exclusively heterosexual.
Well,
it was also a stupid quiz.
It was. Like, it was cute, but it was stupid. Maybe we can look and see if there's, like, a better real one. Because we know, like, those cute BuzzFeed quizzes are so much fun and easy to pass sometimes, but they're not always the best and most accurate.
No, they're just stupid.
So, what advice are we going to give some people?
Didn't we just do an episode of advice? Isn't there more sexualities? We stopped, like, in A.
I mean, there are, but...
But what? We should just keep going.
I mean, they're all kind of like the same thing.
I feel like they're all unboxable. So
there's like fluid. Sexual fluidity that's on here. Scoliosexual. People who identify as scoliosexual typically only feel attraction towards people who are non-binary.
See, that's like so in depth.
Spectrosexual is a term that describes two.
That's a very broad love.
Is a term that describes those who are romantically and sexually attracted to multiple sexes, gender, and gender identities, but not all of them. Right.
There's.
So, like, everything links just to another form of sexuality or another form of gender or something like that. Like, it's the same things, just a different way. But I would say my advice for everyone.
I like to give my advice first because I feel like once you say yours, like, I just kind of like tag along and you like,
all right, so
you know how to think for yourself. And I'm just like, la, la, la. That's good because then I don't have to answer.
Okay. So what's your advice?
What? I said I talked a lot of shit and I don't have any advice. No, I think people should just, if you want to find out what your sexuality is, don't take this quiz. Just go out into the field. Or go on some dating apps. Is there like dating apps that are across the board of all sexualities?
Yeah.
There's one that has like straights and everything on it.
Yeah, all of them. You choose at the very beginning, do you want to see male, female, or both?
Oh, do you? Oh, you do that. Maybe I'm on the wrong dating apps. That's why I'm still single.
Because clearly you're heterosexual and you're only looking at men.
See? I'm like wrong.
Maybe you need a masculine energied woman. Maybe you need like a really butch lesbian.
No, I'm really attracted to like beautiful. Not saying like a butch girl couldn't be beautiful, but like the typical like what do they call lipstick lesbians? I'm attracted to like those kinds of girls. They're like
but not
pretty and makeup. Well, I don't know if they're lesbian because I don't care. I'm just attracted to them as like being a like female.
Got it.
I like boobs.
So what's your advice? Come on.
Don't box yourself in. Love whoever you love. And suck all the dicks.
No matter where you fall on the spectrum, even if you only like feminine energy, still suck the dicks.
Suck on the clit. I don't know. Maybe they could take some testosterone and have a bigger clit and then you can suck on that.
Oh my God.
That's what happens.
Well, my advice
is probably sound advice.
So my advice is, as much as we say as a society, labels are stupid, whatever. Like I discussed earlier in the episode, I think it's important to understand yourself. So figure that out. And there are, as we discussed, there's scales to everything, right? You can lean towards one thing, you can lean towards another. You can change. Things change, people change, new experiences, new views change your ideas on things, and that is okay. So I think people should identify themselves. I think people should understand themselves. So I think educating yourself on the different types of sexualities, the different types of genders, the different types of attractions is an important thing. Know what it is that you like so that you can find what it is that you like so that you can find the person that you're going to be with.
So when you say that it is something that changes, it takes me back to the episode where we did like nature versus nurture.
Mm-hmm.
So then I'm like thinking, were people nurtured to be gay?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I still don't. But then it had me think right as soon as you said that, I was like, zoop, right back to that. Like if it's changing, was I changed because like someone put it in my mind or like put me in the environment for that or nurtured me to that?
What does Nicki Minaj say in one of her songs? She says,
boom, 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 boom.
No, she says like, I used to like girls, now I'm hetero or something.
I don't know. I like her though.
A lot of people have kind of changed. Like people experiment when they're younger. People experiment when they're going through different phases in their lives. And there are people that I know that were bisexual at one point or attracted to a lot of different things and then have since changed, have since adapted and felt a different type of way. A lot of us growing up, when we are still trying to understand ourselves, when we first come out, quote unquote, a lot of people are like, I'm bisexual. And then they all
like
of a sudden,
stepping stone.
Right. But they might truly be bisexual. Like that doesn't mean that it's not an exclusive stepping stone. There are people that are bisexual, and there are people that are bisexual at one point in their life and then change at another point in their life. And it's okay. It's okay to change. It's okay to adapt. It's okay to change your mindset.
I get that, but why do I have to say it? Like, why can't I just bring home a guy one day and then in 3 more weeks, I'm like, never mind, I'm bringing home Michelle.
You can. And why does every girl example that you ever have to say be Michelle? Why do you use that name for everybody?
I don't know.
It's annoying.
What's my boy name?
Bob.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Bob and Michelle. Bob and Michelle. Or Kevin.
It's Kevin. It is Kevin. It's not Bob.
It is Bob. I promise you. We'll play back episodes.
John, can you find out what names I said more? Damn it! I said a name again.
But yes, that is my advice. Take the quiz if you want to take the quiz.
I'm going to find a better one and post it. That one was too cheesy. Like, I legit want to know because I know I'm not a heterosexual.
And be open to everybody and everybody's opinions and where they fall on any of this. Don't judge people. Don't be ignorant.
Yeah, right. In this world, everyone's judging and ignorant.
Well, that's why I'm giving them advice to stop.
True. They didn't ask for it.
Correct.
We should get a billboard on 95.
Stop being a bigoted asshole.
Yep.
That's what it should say.
Yeah. Suck the dicks, you homo.
Oh my god.
You straight homo.
Well, on another note, guys, our season is wrapping up here soon. And we will be on a hiatus until season 2. But we've got some big, exciting things planned while we are on hiatus. We will be doing some events. One that we are really excited to announce right now is...
Oh, already? No, I'm too nervous.
Our big Halloween event. I'll announce it since you're so nervous.
All right, fine.
So we are having a big Halloween event. It'll be hosted by yours truly.
Me.
Raw and unsolicited, the two of us. We will be at Naked Brewing in Bristol, Pennsylvania.
212 Mill Street.
Yes. We will be partnering with
Kara Cartney, who's one of the most incredible musicians out there.
Yes.
And we're going to join forces with some local stores within Bristol, especially Energy Ripple with Crystal. So we got something cool working in the works with her. So stay tuned for all of these details on our social media, TikTok, wherever we're going to post them. We're going to make a flyer.
Well, TikTok is social media, so it'll be on social media.
All of our socials. We need to get our website up and going. I don't know how to do that.
There will be a costume contest. Costumes are very much encouraged, but not mandatory.
Can we say mandatory? It's our party.
I mean, we can say mandatory, but
don't walk in the door if you don't have a costume.
It's not mandatory.
And don't wear a shirt that says, "This is my costume." You're a loser.
We will not be doing a live podcast or anything during this event. It's just kind of hosted by us. So we'll be here to have fun with you guys and enjoy the night and drink some fantastic beer brewed right here.
And I'm sure the owners are going to make some bomb-ass beverages too.
Yeah.
See, like, I want to say their names, but I'm trying to not say names. And now I want to say a name, and I'm like, damn it. But anyway, October 27th.
October 27th. Do we have a time?
We don't yet. We just have it.
It's in the evening.
Well, yeah, it's a Halloween party.
It's a Friday night. It's in the evening. We will keep you guys posted on the time. But we look forward to seeing as many of you as possible. And keep an eye on our social medias for other events coming up as well. We will have several, but this one is...
The next one.
No, not the next one, but it is the finalized one.
It's not the next one?
But we'll have some other things in the works as well.
Oh, that one. We have for the meeting after this.
Yes,
okay, yeah.
correct.
All right, guys. So we will see you next Tuesday.
See ya.